What are the core playing concepts of modal jazz? Imagine a style of jazz where musicians have the freedom to stretch out and explore melodies without constantly chasing chord changes. That's what modal jazz is all about. Instead of moving quickly through different chords, the music centers on using musical modes, specific scales derived from the major scale, as the foundation for improvisation and composition. This shift from traditional chord progressions to modes changes everything about how musicians approach their solos and the overall sound. One key idea is that instead of changing chords every few beats, modal jazz often stays on one mode or a couple of modes for many measures. This creates a spacious, open feeling, giving soloists more room to develop melodic ideas. For example, instead of a fast-moving chord progression, a piece might stay on a Dorian mode for many bars, allowing improvisers to focus on creating interesting melodies within that scale. Another important concept is extended improvisation. Since the harmony remains static, soloists can take their time to craft longer, more expressive lines. This encourages melodic exploration and variation, rather than just outlining chord changes. It's like painting with a broad brush instead of tiny strokes. Harmonic simplicity is also a hallmark. Modal jazz minimizes complex chord changes, sometimes sticking to just one or two chords for a long stretch. This creates a calm, meditative atmosphere and shifts the focus to texture and mood. Musicians interact more through their tone, rhythm, and dynamics rather than harmonic tension. Scalar improvisation is another core idea. Soloists use the notes of the mode to craft melodies, rather than targeting specific chord tones. This makes their lines more fluid and less constrained. It's about expressing emotion and mood within the mode's framework. Modal jazz also often employs harmony built on intervals of fourths or fifths, called quartal and quintal harmony. This kind of harmony sounds more open and ambiguous, supporting the modal approach. It's different from the traditional harmony built on thirds, which tends to sound more defined and resolved. Rhythm plays a vital role too. The rhythm section often interacts more freely, supporting the soloist with flexible rhythms and textures. They don't just keep strict time but help create a lively, conversational feel. Sometimes modal jazz incorporates elements from other musical traditions, like Indian ragas or African polyrhythms. This broadens the rhythmic and melodic vocabulary, making the music even more expressive. Compositions in modal jazz are often built around static modal vamps or simple repeating patterns. These serve as platforms for improvisation, rather than complex chord progressions. A famous example is Miles Davis's album Kind of Blue. The song So What uses a Dorian mode vamp over many bars, giving soloists plenty of space to develop their ideas. Instead of chasing chord changes, musicians focus on melody, rhythm, and mood within the modal framework. Overall, modal jazz encourages a different way of thinking about improvisation and composition. It moves away from the vertical, chord-based approach to a more horizontal, scale-based approach. This opens up new possibilities for creativity and expression in jazz music.